So here we have it. RFK is going in on Joe Biden and he's not letting up. So we're going to take a look at this video, guys. We're here to check this out. So if you're new here, definitely be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We post consistently, guys. If you're new here, welcome to the King Squad. And thank you to everyone who leaves a positive comment and shares these videos. I hope everyone is having a great and prosperous day. As always, drink your water, hug your close ones. Thank God for waking up this morning. And let's get into the video. Let's go.
For that, Jackie Heinrich. This just in, too, from the Boston Globe. Its editorial board now, the latest newspaper to say maybe it's time for the president to at least suspend his campaign. Other major newspapers, including the New York Times and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, have said for him to end it outright and open it up to an open convention. Reaction now from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the independent presidential candidate. Robert, that's not too far from your original neck of the woods, Boston. Yet another paper saying it's time to call it a day. What do you make of all of this?
I think I think what happened the other night at the debate was that a lot of Americans finally understood what the media has been hiding, what people around in the White House has been hiding, which is the executive of our country is probably not running our country. That he has cognitive issues that are going to impair him. And what I think we all need to worry about is the scenario where he gets the wake-up call at 3 o'clock in the morning and has to be pushed down the corridor and make that decision within 6 minutes. That's going to affect all of humanity. And we deserve and we need. We're the most powerful country in the world. We need a president who's on his feet 24 hours a day. Now, the White House, what Kareem said, Jean-Pierre said, was that he had a bad 90 minutes, and which is, anybody can have a bad 90 minutes. But if that's true, then he needs to dispel that very aggressively, not just with a single interview on CBS to a very, very friendly reporter, George Stephanopoulos, by coming out and doing unscripted events without teleprompters, talking to voters, doing town halls, doing debates with people who are going to challenge him so that Americans can actually assess whether he's capable of running the country. His insistence that he's okay and the insistence of this close coterie that surrounds him and his personal doctor should not be convincing to anybody. He needs to.
Is it convincing to your family, Robert? Is it convincing to your family? Overwhelmingly, your fellow family members, your sisters and brothers, and extended family are supporting Joe Biden. If he steps out of the race, is it possible that they throw their support behind you?
I don't know. I haven't talked to them about it. I know. The only thing the only feedback I've got is, and I'm going to be at the Cape next weekend with a lot of them, but on the family listserv, people were very, very disturbed. The most adamant supporters of Biden in my family are, were saying this is using the word embarrassing, and how
none of them knew that he had these issues before, Robert? Was this all a surprise to them? That we've seen signs of this before. Do you think they were that well hidden from even, your own family members who presumably are quite close to the president?
Well, I mean, they're close to the president, meaning that they like him. They don't spend a lot of time with him nowadays since he was elected president. So, and I mean, for me, I was watching his performance on, all these other debates, which are recycled, all of the gaffes that he was making, and the falls and the blank stares that are circulated on YouTube and then sent to my phone. I don't know if the algorithms send them to their phones, so I don't know what they were seeing and what they weren't seeing. But, because of the kind of things that I look at YouTube, I was getting a lot of those, and it was really obvious to me that there was a problem. But I suppose you could live in a universe where none of that stuff becomes visible to you, and I don't know where they're living. And incidentally, there are a lot of family members who are supporting my campaign But the ones who are close in my family, which is the children of Robert Kennedy, there's a bunch of them who are working for the administration or who are, very close
it's quite
to the
obvious.
president.
And I meant no disrespect to you, Robert, by saying that. I do want to get your thoughts, though, on this push now to say this president should do what Lyndon Johnson did and step down, that it was the right thing to do. Of course, that was 1968. He faced inevitable defeat. He bowed out of the race. Soon after that, Eugene McCarthy, who was already campaigning, your father joined.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is on its last leg. It's just fallen completely on its face. And, it's to that, what's that old saying? It's something like God doesn't like ugly or something like that. Anyways, it slipped my mind. So we're just going to dig right into this. So they're on their last leg, okay, and they're freaking out. They are completely freaking out because they see the Republican Party's united. They're like, whoa, what the heck is this? Mind you, this is going against everything that they've thrown at Trump, okay? This is the stuff I was talking about, where Trump has only gotten stronger. He's only gotten bigger, and he's only gained more popularity, okay? And they really solidified Trump in office when they pulled this assassination attempt on him. Okay, it was bad enough that we saw the debate and we saw Biden, thinking about the poop in his pants, thinking about if he's going to sign a bill for free ice cream for life, thinking about, what is dementia. He's thinking about alphabet soup, and he's falling asleep on stage. It was nap time for Joe Biden, but he forgot he had to go to the debate, and he somehow just spawned into a debate. There was that. So that was bad enough. Then you have them over here dragging Trump through the mud in these court cases, these ridiculous court cases, and he just kept beating them. And then they slam him with the title of felon. And you just see that they're all over the place. They're desperate, and it's really just desperation that's fueling them. And they keep stepping on their own feet. They keep tripping over their own laces, in a sense. And this is why Biden, he definitely has to step down, because he's in no condition to be our fearless leader of the United States of America. He's in no position to do so, and nor has he done so. So there's that. So they don't really have anybody on top of that. Like who Big Mike? You want Big Mike for president? I definitely don't. Who else? Gavin Newsom, after how he's obliterated California? No thanks. Cackling Kamala, the cackling co-pilot, I'll pass. So, yeah, they have nobody. They have absolutely nobody. So, again, this is why I'm so adamant, you could say, about prayers out to Trump. Seriously. I mean, the guy, he just keeps overcoming. This is a lot. And he keeps winning, and that's dangerous. Mind you, I'm at a point where I'm thinking about, wow, they're doing all this to stop him. We got to keep praying for him and supporting him even when he becomes president, because if they're trying to get him now, he's a bold man to still push forward and continue, even when he doesn't have to, and still choose to run for 4 more years as president. Just the resilience is amazing. So there's that.
In the race, we all sadly remember what happened, but the ticket did go down to defeat regardless. The party that controlled the White House lost the White House. It always happens when a party is in disarray. Are Democrats in disarray and bound to lose the White House regardless?
Well, I mean, the polls indicate that President Biden will lose under any conditions. But I don't, listen. The cognitive issues that became very.
You see that? That's why they're freaking out. That right there. They don't stand a freaking chance at all. And I love to see it.
Very apparent during that debate to everybody. I don't think anybody will say that those things are bound to get better over the next 4 years. And we're electing a president for 4 years. So, I think it's kind of crazy to not give somebody who is, is in better shape a chance to lead the Democratic Party and ultimately run the country. We need somebody who is mentally competent, cognitively competent, at this critical time in history when we're, on the brink of nuclear war with Russia, when we have a $34 trillion debt that's going to implode, where we have the rise of BRICS, which is threatening the dollar as the world reserve currency, where we have, the record inflation since the 1970s, where the first generation of kids who can't get into homes, we need somebody up there who's dynamic, who has a vision, who's going to change the direction, the course of this country. And I don't think anybody in the country really believes that is going to come from President Biden.
Do you regret then leaving the Democratic Party because this might be an opening? Marianne Williamson, a former candidate, seems to be back in as a candidate, just in case. Do you think you sort of ostracized yourself by becoming an independent candidate and not getting a chance to take advantage of this?
I don't think that I had any choice. And, the delegates have all been assigned, and that system was, I would use the word rigged to make sure that only President Biden could get elected. So I
well,
think
that could be gone now, right, Robert? That could be gone, and now they're going to have presumably an open convention if it comes to that. And you're quite right, we don't know yet. But if it comes to that, you could have been in the thick of it.
But the delegates are all beholden to Biden, to President Biden. So, and most of those delegates are selected. The superdelegates are selected by the big donors to the donor class, to the Democratic Party. And I think that within that donor class, which is BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the pharmaceutical companies, the military-industrial complex, and the oil and coal companies, that's who controls the convention, and I don't think that they're going to want to see me. I think I threaten. I'm a multi-trillion-dollar threat to those interests.
So
and
why aren't you benefiting more from this news? I mean, obviously Donald Trump has opened up a wider lead versus Joe Biden in these latest polls that are coming out for the New York Times, Siena College, or what have you, scoring big with independents and the like. Not you. What is that about?
I think a couple things. First of all, I do benefit if you look at favorability. I have better favorability ratings than either President Biden or President Trump. And I'll say this, Neil, that a lot of the polls discount independents. I'm beating President Biden and President Trump among independents. So the Gallup poll that came out 3 days ago showed that 51% of Americans are now independents. But if you look at the polls, the way that they weight those polls, some of them only give 20% to independents. Today, 23%, according to the Gallup poll, 23% of Americans say they're Democrat, 25% Republican, and between 51 and 52% independent. So I'm beating them in that cohort, and you
got to get on more ballots, right? You got to get on more ballots. I count 7 or 8 states that you're on now. You were optimistic of getting on all 50. I don't have the latest figures available, so I apologize. Where do you stand in that?
I'll be on all 50 states within 3 weeks.
Really?
Oh, and the reason I'm already on more than half the states, let me put it this way so you understand. I have enough signatures to get on the ballot in more than half the states. I just have to hand them in. But the states won't accept them. They won't allow me on the ballot till the end of August because of the way their process works. So it would look to you that I'm only on the ballot in 9 states. But actually, we've done 99% of the work now.
So bottom line, Robert, just to understand this, I'm sorry to jump on you. You're saying you will be on all 50 state ballots by Election Day.
I just want to clarify as well. I do not think he's going to be president. I think Trump has it in the pocket. I think Trump is completely fit. I mean, of course, especially with everything that's happened and how he just continuously shows strength. Trump is definitely going to be our 47th president, God willing, of course. that we don't have any more attempts from the left that we had just recently. I do believe that things are going to get crazier because as we near closer to the election, it's like as we get closer, things get crazier. All right. It's not even, how many months are we away from November? Off the top of my head, it's like, what? Are we like 3, 4, maybe 5? I don't know, somewhere around 4 or 5. But yeah, so we're like right around the corner from the election, and as we get closer, things get crazier. So I definitely think that we need to buckle up and really just keep our eyes wide open and stay vigilant in these trying times. But I do believe that Trump has it down on lock. Okay. I don't think RFK Jr. is going to be, and this isn't to influence anybody's vote or anything like that, but I definitely don't think he has it. He can have, independence or whatever, but I don't think he has it. And Joe Biden definitely doesn't have it. Kamala Harris is not going to have it. Who else? Yeah, no, that's about it. I think Trump's got it.
Oh, yeah, by August, we'll be on 4 weeks from now, we'll be on the ballot in every state.
All right. Now, some states and others, you poll well over 10%, in a couple at 15%. But you know what happens there? Invariably, Robert, they say, that's the spoiler roll coming out, that you can't win, but you could tip it to, and the best guess seems to be Donald Trump, because you'll take votes away from Joe Biden. You've heard this constantly, but it's getting a lot of attention now if Joe Biden doesn't run, and what impact you would have in a race, let's say Kamala Harris does. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, let me say this. In all the polling that's been done, that's looked at head-to-head races. I do better than any other candidate. So if I was left alone in a head-to-head race with President Trump, I win. If I'm left alone in a head-to-head race against President Biden, I win 39 states. He only wins 11, so I win in a landslide. In a three-way race, people are not voting for the person they want. They're voting out of fear that either President Trump or President Biden are going to get elected. My job and my challenge over the next 4 months is to get Americans to vote out of hope, out of inspiration, rather than voting out of fear. And, you don't know and I don't know what's going to happen if President Biden gets out of this race. We're going to be living in a topsy-turvy world. It's going to be very, very interesting for you, for me, for everybody. But I think that there's opportunities for me, for Americans to reassess the race. And in every poll that's done, if my favorability ratings are better than President Biden or President Trump, so people want to vote for me. There's also, if there's a contingency election, which there's a good chance this year, we think that we win a contingency election as well.
So let me ask you about this. As things stand now, there is another debate coming up in September. We don't know who will be there. Donald Trump presumably will be there. We don't know if Joe Biden will be there. There's every reason to think, Donald Trump, given his lead in the polls and given his experience, wouldn't want to bother with another debate. But would you want to be in that debate, and if it were with Donald Trump or whomever the Democrat is, and what criteria would you be able to argue in your favor that would make it be on that stage?
Well, if the Presidential Debating Commission was running the debate, I will be on the stage. But this is the first election in history for the first 25 years. For the first 25 years of President, my uncle's debate, President Kennedy's debate, was the first televised presidential debate. 25 years after that, the debate was run by the Women's League of Conservation, Women's League of Voters. And that was a bipartisan organization. It was trusted by people. And then they invented the Presidential Debate Commission, which is also bipartisan. If they had run the debate this time, I would have been on the stage. In fact, CNN invented rules we now know because the Washington Post reported the private conversation between the Trump campaign, the Biden campaign, and CNN. CNN illegally created rules that were specifically designed to keep me off the stage. However, even under those rules, I qualified much more than the other two candidates because under the rules, you had to be on enough ballots to get 270 electoral votes.
I really think that he just has to hype up his presence. If anything, I really don't think he stands a serious chance against Trump. If we're going to give him any props at all, the highest I'd go is say he's, I guess you could call him a wild card, I guess. But I really don't think he's really holding any weight in this. As far as Biden stepping down, that is just insane. And then having another debate after everything that's taken place with Trump and the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. I don't even know if Trump is still going to do the debate. And then if Biden steps down, who is even going to debate Trump? It wouldn't be Kamala Harris. Would she be in charge? Would she be our first female president? And then on top, I just think it's going to be a mess, really. I just think it's going to be a mess. I think things are going to be out of order until Trump gets in office. And things are already hectic as is. People are in a panic, and I'd say people are in a panic on both sides. I'd say the Republican Party has definitely taken just many hits regarding the radical left extremists, just attempts to assassinate Trump politically, financially, and then physically, like realistically, like in real life. So it's just been hectic. And that's out of the Dems panicking because they don't really have anybody. So it's been a wild time, and you can kind of feel the desperation out here. And this is why I also say, drink your water, take a walk, thank God for giving you breath this morning. And really, sometimes it's important to take a break from this stuff too, because it's crazy out here, man. It's really crazy. So let's get back into the video.
Well, I was on enough ballots to get about 200. I have enough signatures to get 343. They wouldn't let me on the ballot. But President Biden and President Trump weren't on any ballots. And so I qualified. And then CNN designated 12 polling companies and said I had to score 15% in 4 polls among those 12 companies. And I did that, including the CNN poll. I got, I think, 16% in the
bottom
CNN
line, you
poll.
weren't at that debate for whatever reason, and you hope to be
yeah,
the
right.
the ABC one, right? That you're hoping for that.
Yeah, I hope.
So there you have it, guys. That's all for this video. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched this video all the way through. Shout out to everyone who left a positive comment. I greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone who shares these videos, smashes that like button. Thumbs up. There we go. Let's go. And I hope everyone continues to have a great day. I pretty much gave my own thoughts and commentary throughout the video, so that's that. I definitely don't think he's holding any real weight within this election. I think that he's kind of just hyping up his presence, and he's more so a bit of a wild card rather than an actual threat to Trump. So that's my own personal thoughts about it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so that's that. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.